The humble onion, we fry them on the barbecue and we actually use it quite a lot in our everyday cooking. But have you ever considered stuffing them? They're actually really delicious. I'm going to slow cook them first and then stuff them with a really interesting stuffing with red curry paste mushrooms and red rice. This is an outstanding dish that really celebrates onions. So I've got 4 medium-sized red onions here, Spanish onions. You can actually use bigger ones if you like. You'll just have to make a little bit more of the stuffing. So first, I'm just going to top the onion just like this and get yourself a melon baller. Now you can do this with a teaspoon, but I find it's a really nifty little device to have in the kitchen. You can see I'm being really careful when we get to the edges of the onion there, making sure when you are scooping that it's quite even around the whole way so it cooks evenly. All right, that's looking good. Don't throw away this. You can obviously use that for another dish. So we'll just put that to the side and you can see I've done these other ones just here. See, they're all nicely hollowed there. And we can start wrapping them. Now, onion's a little bit harsh when it's raw, so I'm going to pre-cook these. Get yourself a little bit of foil. So we need 4 sheets of foil for each individual onion. And we want to mix red wine vinegar with about 2 tablespoons of soy. Strange combination, but trust me, it does work. We'll just give that a little mix. And now we can start adding these to the foil. So first of all, a little touch of that vinegar and soy mixture onto the base. And then I like to really coat it and sort of drizzle that vinegar mixture around. Then we wrap it nice and tight and then place it into a baking tray. And we'll do the next one. The foil's going to help steam the onions and at the same time just protect them so they don't shrink too much and they do hold their shape. So it's all worth the effort because when you see them at the end, when they're going to be beautiful, perfectly round still and stuffed with this amazing stuffing. Now I've preheated my oven to 160 degrees, so not too hot. And because these are quite small, they're going to cook for about 30 minutes. So if they're a little bit bigger, just leave them in for another 10 minutes, so 40 minutes. Now, while they're cooking, we can get straight on to the stuffing. So I've got a pan here. We're adding a little bit of vegetable oil to the pan and we just want to heat that up. We want it to be quite hot because we're going to be cooking off these mushrooms. So it's about 150 grams of just button mushrooms and I've just finely chopped it, so duxelles style. So once that is hot, we'll add that. But in the meantime, let's get some nuts. This is for the texture. I've got about a good handful of cashew nuts, unsalted. And we'll run the knife through it. We want everything to be around the same size. So the rice that we're going to be adding is quite small, the mushrooms. So this is going to be the key textural element to it, the crunch texture, which I think is very important with every dish you make. That's looking good. That's nice and hot. Let's get these mushrooms in there. Now we have finely chopped them so they will give off a little bit of water. And we're not going to add salt at this stage. If you add salt, it's going to draw out the water. So we want them to fry up, start to get golden brown, and then we'll add those nuts. Also, some coriander. I'm going to use some of the stalk. It's got a beautiful flavour, and I'll use the leaves to garnish. So let's use 2 of these, and I'll just cut it just there. And then we're going to finely chop this, root and all. Okay, that goes in. Let's give that a toss. Gosh, that smells nice. That coriander root and those mushrooms, beautiful combination. Now, the red rice. You can get this from any good supermarket now. I love it because it just really holds its texture. It's got a little slight bite, almost al dente. And look at the colour, isn't it fantastic? And it's got a really nutty flavour to it. So I've cooked this. It takes a little bit longer to cook than just plain rice, and you want 1 cup of cooked rice. That can go in now. We can add the cashew nuts so they can toast off with the rest of the ingredients there. Give that a toss. Oh, those mushrooms smell so good. It's looking good. And now for the red curry paste. This is so interesting, but I promise it works. We want 3 tablespoons of this, and roughly measured. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And you want to cook this off for about 1 minute, just so that curry paste can start toasting and all those flavours start to come out of it. And then the last thing, we want a little bit of sauciness to this. So I've got some coconut cream, and we'll measure out around 4 tablespoons of the cream, and this is going to thicken up nicely. And we give that a quick stir. That thickens straight away, so I'll turn the heat off, and that's ready to go. So all we need to do now is wait for those onions to cook. That'll cool down slightly, and then we can start stuffing. Let's have a look at these gorgeous onions. They look fantastic. Look at that. I've just cooled them down slightly so I can handle them. See how soft they are? We can still see that soy sauce and vinegar in there, but it's also absorbed a little bit of it, and that is just fantastic. It's really worth wrapping them in that foil just to protect them and keep that shape. Let's get these ones open too. Be quite gentle with them because they are soft, and they're going to be really, really sweet because of that par cooking. Now all we need to do is start to fill them. I have turned the oven up to 200 degrees now because all we're doing is just filling and warming them through again. I've got just a tablespoon here, and you want to fill them up again, quite full, but not so much that they're going to burst. This is also a great vegetarian option. There are so many different fillings you can do too. Okay, that's looking good. Back into the oven, 5-10 minutes, ready to serve. These visually look fantastic, but more important than that, they taste sensational. I'm going to arrange 3 on the plate. Very careful, they are very hot. And then that last one there. And just because it looks great, a little sprig of coriander on top always makes a difference, and a squeeze of fresh lime over the top just to finish that off. That, for me, is a sensational dish. You've really got to give this filling a go. The combination of that coconut cream, that red curry paste, the nuts in there, it is so good. And with the pairing of the onion, it's a match made in heaven. Who would have thought onions would be celebrated so much just like this? Stuffed onions, give them a go.